Hello again, everyone. Some folks last night on our live stream asked for a tour of my study, so I thought I'd show you around a little bit. Of course, we have the books behind me. You can see I've got John Phillips commentary, and up here at the top I've got a number of things from various things in my past. I do some model railroading, and those are some buildings that I built. These dolls are from over in Japan when I was stationed there, and then went back as a missionary for a short time. The one is it's a scroll wrapped around the doll, and it's signed by everyone in our church over there in Japan. And got some pictures of folks that were and are dear to me. And then more books over here. Got Usher, Archbishop Usher. He wrote a book about the history of the world based on Scripture and the genealogies in Scripture. Strong's Concordance, everyone should have one of those. Way of Life Encyclopedia of the Bible and Christianity, that is by Dr. David Cloud. And then in 1828, Webster's Dictionary, everyone should have one of those too. Wilmington's Guide to the Bible and various books by Wilmington. And World's Bible Handbook, and of course character sketches in the Bible, so just some neat things there. I have some old Bibles and songbooks and sermon books from back in the 1800s. I picked them up at a used bookstore at one point and just had a real good deal on that. I was thankful to get that. That was over in England. And then there's some other books about landscaping and country living and different things. Also some secular history like the Civil War, things like that. And then about the history of trains. And then more books down here and more books over here and more books over here. Some good ones in here. Exhaustive Dictionary of Bible Names. That's a handy one to have. Basic Theology by Ryrie, it's good as far as it goes. He was doctrinally had some issues, but there's some good work in there as well. God's Samurai, that is an interesting book. It is about the life of Mitsuo Fuchida, who was the one who led the attack on Pearl Harbor. He was the one who said the code words Torah, Torah, Torah. Well, after the war, he got saved and became an evangelist and did some work with Billy Graham. And I'm not a big Billy Graham fan, don't get me wrong on that, but it was an interesting read. And then To the Golden Shore, that's the biography of Adoniram Judson. The Life of David Brainerd is basically his diary. Another good book there. New Age Bible Versions by Gail Riplinger. And, various other books. Here's one that we mentioned last night. It was Ken Ham's book on One Blood, and it takes a look at the genealogies of human beings, and that we're all one blood, and that's of course a good topic to discuss as well. Got up here, got a dictionary, or a body of doctrinal divinity and body of practical divinity. They are theology books, basically commentaries by Gill. That's from the 1600s, somebody that Spurgeon used to refer to quite a bit. Criswell's Guidebook to Pastors, for Pastors, that's a good book if you're going into the ministry. Then Josephus and American in Crimson Red by James Beller. That is an excellent book. I highly recommend that book. However, let me warn you before you go trying to read it, the information in it is fascinating, it's wonderful, but sometimes his writing style is such that it will make your eyes bleed. But not the most interesting reading a lot of times, but the subject is fascinating, so it's an interesting dichotomy there. Benjamin Keach, I'll have to tell the story of Benjamin Keach, and in particular his son as well. One of these days I'll do a video on that. Then we have the fundamentals. They're okay. The Gospel of John by A.W. Pink. A.W. Pink, you have to be careful. He's a very hardcore Calvinist, but his insights into the Gospel of John are incredible, and if you can get beyond the Calvinism, it is definitely worth a read. But some other books here. We've got another bookcase over here, lots of different stuff. I'm not going to go into all the details on every one of them. You already saw my Bible leaves, the pages from the Bible that we talked about. Up here, there is let me get in closer to it. That is 1 John 4:8 in Japanese. That was given to me by our Japanese ministry when I was over in Japan. And everybody on the back of it, all our Japanese folks signed the back of it, so that was neat. And then this is a plate I got in Romania. This is a dagger I got over in England. And then I mentioned that I'm into model railroading. Here are some of my trains that I've collected over the years. And then up here, this is a certificate, stock certificate for the, it looks like the Delaware something or other railroad company, but I got a hold of that. It was an antique. I thought it was neat. This is my retirement from the military when I retired from the Air Force. And then I also have this, it's a shadow box all put together from different things. Everything in there has meaning to me from when I was in the military. So neat things there. And then just some more pictures and various things. The sword here, the sword and the dagger I showed you previously, I got those in England. When I was stationed at RAF Mildenhall in England, there was a gentleman in the next town over, in the town of Lakenheath, that had made swords and weapons and armor for various different movies, to include the movie Excalibur and the Conan movies and different things. Well, he made the sword and the dagger for me. I'd make it sound like he did it just, out of the kindness of his heart, but actually I paid him for it. I just bought them from him, but he made all his weapons, everything that he does, he made it by order. So you have to order something. He didn't just have it sitting in a shop somewhere. Over here, this is a letter. The First Lady came and visited us at Ramstein when I was over in Germany, and I sent her a letter and thanked her for the kind words that she said, and she wrote back to me, so I thought that was neat, and I framed that. Up here is an arrow that I got when traveling through the west, out by near Grand Canyon and the Painted Forest and Monument Valley, that area. And it is I believe it's a Navajo arrow, and so that's a neat thing there. And then over here, some more pictures and things, stories behind everything, of course. Right here, this was a watercolor painting of a building that I actually visited over in England, and it was given to me by the artist herself. We were staying with them; they were friends of the family, and just that's a neat thing over there. This is I've mentioned many times Brother Dave Parker over in England. That's a picture of him many years ago. So that's neat. This is a Japanese postcard that a friend of mine in our church in New York, he was in the Second World War, and as the war was ending, he was one of the first ships that actually landed in Tokyo Harbor, and he bought that postcard on the day that he arrived there, and then gave it to me. And he's since died. He was in his 90s when he passed away, but so it's something to remember him by, and also remember my time in Japan. There's a couple of degrees there. I don't know who got those degrees, but one's a Bible degree, one's an aviation degree. So anyway, so that's just a quick little tour of my office, some of my books, things that I like to use and refer to. I hope that might be a blessing to you. I don't know if anyone really even cares about it. Oh, I do have one other thing I'm going to show you tonight, and that is this picture up here. And you please excuse my dinosaurs and my wife's stuffed animals there, but that picture, that is the Harding Ice Field in Alaska, near Seward, Alaska. and I took all those pictures and put them together into a collage. Now, of course, you can do that with Photoshop these days, but at the time, this was the way you'd have to do it. And I climbed up there and took those pictures, and it was a neat place to visit. Oh, and over here, that is Monument Valley. I've been there as well. And the Grand Teton, just various places that I've been to. But anyway, I hope you have a great day. Hope the Lord blesses you, and just keep checking back at on my channel. We'll always be adding new content all the time, so just keep referring back. Thanks a lot, and you take care. God bless. Bye-bye.